Good evening. Good evening. Listen, this is not what is supposed to be on. This is not what's supposed to be on. I know, but I haven't had a chance to do a champion conversation in a minute. And due to some technical difficulty and storms that are taking place where my DJ is, we had to adjust our schedule. So we're back to a Tuesday evening champion conversation. So you know how we do it. If you remember, just right where you are, type in the chat where you're from and what you're telling God thank you for. Where you're from and what you're telling God thank you for. What are you telling God thank you for? What's up, all my champions? All my champions, y'all come on, shout out where you're watching from and shout out what you're thanking God for. What you're thanking God for. Man, we are the Cathedral of Champions and we're so excited about what's to come. Listen, the enemy is so upset that the Flyers haven't even gotten prepared yet, but we'll be in Florence this Friday night. We'll be in Florence this Friday night at 6:30 at the Loft doing happy hour. And we got a word called wisdom from the wine. Wisdom from the wine. And then we're probably going to end up popping up in Sunday on Sunday in Sumter. So we're going to do fourth Fridays in Florence and then the Sunday after in Sumter. So listen, put that on your calendar. Put that on your calendar. Then Sunday morning, I'll be at Savannah Grove in in Florence at 10 o'clock. So right now, as you come in right where you're from, type where you're from and what you're praising God for. We're not going to be on long. I'm thinking about 30 minutes as I dump what God has given me for today. We haven't done a champion conversation in a while. Remember, we are the Cathedral of Champions where we are bringing out the champion in you. It's already in you. You just need to be reminded of who God created you to be. And so we're here to remind you. And the best way to remind you is in the studying of what God has already done. Listen, yes, Richard, I've seen you. You've dropped major weight. In fact, you're only a couple pounds heavier than me, which means I got to get back in the gym because you're trying to surpass me. And I can't have that. Ain't going to happen. So I'm about to lose. I'm about to drop 50 just so you got to keep up. Right. So listen, let's go ahead and jump right into this word. As you come on, continue to write what you're thanking God for. These are the champion conversations. And so we just simply want to direct your attention to Exodus chapter 3, verse 14. 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 And it says this: God said to Moses, I am who I am. And this is what you're to say to the Israelites: I am has sent me to you. But I want to focus just on that first part. I am who I am. Today's topic is simply this: the ABCs of being a champion. The ABCs of being a champion. One thing I used to love about watching superhero shows, which is probably my biggest passion. Like, I have an affinity for superhero. I didn't care Marvel, DC, I didn't care bootleg or current. I loved superheroes. In fact, my favorite superhero show growing up was Greatest American Hero because he got a suit, he didn't understand it, and he fumbled his way into saving the day. I think that for so many of us, we're so afraid of fumbling that we fail to walk in the superhero nature. We fail to walk in the awesomeness of our creation because we're afraid of fumbling and failing publicly. That I believe leads us to this constant cycle of self-sabotage and self-defeating behavior because we don't see ourselves as champions, because we don't fit the model of champions as portrayed by those images we grew up watching. None of us has the chin nor physique of Superman. None of us has the wealth or skill set of Batman. None of us has the ability, even though we get angry, to Hulk up like the Hulk. But the reality is we weren't designed to be those mystical and fictional characters, because God created us in God's image and our likeness and created a champion in all of us. We have something better than gamma rays and Spider-Man, spider bites. We have something better than Kryptonian heritage. We have a blessing that came upon us at our birth, and then we have the Holy Ghost, those who are believers, which gives us the ability to press on and fight on in spite the challenges and enemy attacks that come against us. We are champions, but so many of us fail to walk in the fullness of who God called us to be because we never have been told how to do it. What are the important and essential characteristics? What are the things we need to know about being a champion? This is a phenomenal story in the Bible. This is the call narrative of Moses. And to be honest, let's not get it twisted, because that's what we often do with this. This is simply the opportunity of God choosing Moses to demonstrate God's power. Catch this. This ain't even about Moses. This is about Moses being available to be used by God so the people can see God and worship God. This ain't about Moses. And let me just dispel the myth that you being a champion really ain't about you. It's about you making yourself available to be used by God. God simply commissions you as vessel to be the conduit, to be the carrier, to be the mediator between God's awesomeness and people's frailty, so that God can be glorified. I know we make it about Moses, but really this ain't about Moses. This is about God calling Moses to see if Moses would trust God to go where God sent Moses, and Moses begins to spew excuses. And that's often what we do. Often what we do in the face of what we're called to do is tell God how impossible it is. God is the one that called out of a burning bush to Moses, who was tending to his father-in-law's sheep. And God says, Moses, I need you to go. God Almighty, God all-powerful, God all-knowing, God creator, God sovereign, tells Moses, feeble, frail, finite, funny-acting, fleshly creature, I need you to go. And Moses spews back to God all of these reasons why Moses is incapable and incompetent and unable to go. The beautiful thing about what happens is God responds by telling Moses who's going. In other words, Moses says, what if they don't believe me? Suppose they ask me who sends me. And God replies, look at it. God replies, I am who I am. That's what God says. Tell them I am has sent me to you. Now you got to understand, based on what we just said, right? The reality is, based on what we just said, this is God activating Moses to be the carrier of God, so that God can do the work and God can get the glory through the work of Moses. So basically, what God is telling Moses, in order to activate the champion, you have to say, I am that I am. Okay. Listen, okay, hold on. Maybe you don't miss it. Let's see what the question is. So the question we're going to wrestle with as we talk about what are the ABCs of being a champion, right? First thing you got to do is you have to accept the attributes. That's A. God told Moses, I am who I am. Okay, catch this. Hold on. In other words, God told Moses The first thing you got to do to be a champion is you have to accept your attributes. You have to own who you are. Listen. I'm a superhero fan, right? And the crazy thing is that the superhero didn't deliver the day, didn't save the day as Clark Kent. He always had to go into the telephone booth and become Superman. Bruce Wayne never saved the day as Bruce. And oftentimes he got beat up as Bruce. But when he donned the mask of the cape, when he donned the mask of Batman, you have to, no more hiding. In order to be a champion, the first thing you got to remember is you got to own it. Accept your attributes. Hold on. This is why it was so hard for Moses to do it, because in Moses' mind, he saw his past as problematic. But God saw his past as preparation. Oh, God, listen. You have to stop seeing your past as problematic, especially if you believe in a God who makes no mistakes, a God who knows the end before the beginning, a God who laid out all the days before you lived your first day and still allowed you to live your first day. You have to trust that God knows who you are when God calls you. God knows who you are, not just your name, but your nature. God knows the fullness of you. And you have to not hide it, but accept it. That's the A. Accept your attributes. I am, hold on, watch this, who I am. I am. God said, listen, tell him I am. That I am suggests the impersonal nature. But God says in the New King James Version, better translation, I am who I am. I am who I am. Listen, when you see me, take me as I is, I am. This here me. I am who I am. I have accepted my attributes. Hold on. Here's the second thing. Not only do you need to accept your attributes, but number two, the B is you need to be what you believe. You need to be. He says, I am who I am. I am. Not I will be. Not I was, but I am. In other words, part of being a champion is the being part. You can't wait till later. You can't postpone. You got to be in the present. You have to move in present possibility. You can't push it off to later because the world needs what you have. Now, remember, by the time God addresses Moses in chapter 3 of Exodus, the children have been crying out since chapter 2. They've been crying out since chapter 2, verse 23, but God gets Moses' attention in chapter 3. In other words, the people have been waiting long enough for you to be prepared and ready to be. Stop postponing it and become it. That's really what it is. You got to be what you believe. God says, I am who I am. In the present, right now, in the fullness of this moment, I am. And for you to be a champion, you can't wait another minute. That used to be my favorite song by High Five. Can't wait another minute. But that plays true in here. The world can't wait for you. Oh God, the world can't wait for you to grow up. The world can't wait for you to mature. The world can't wait for you to stop doing those crazy things that has you hesitating about coming and being an active agent for God. The world can't wait. The world is going to hell in a handbasket, and you are the champion that is destined to do the delivering, but you have to be what you believe. You have to be it. 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 Here's the C. So you accept the attributes. You be what you believe. Here's number 3. To be a champion, letter C, you have to be confident in the face of the critiques. You got to be confident. You got to be confident. Prior to this verse, and even in the subsequent verses afterwards, Moses is going to be doubtful of God's promise, God's declaration, and God's plan. Moses is going to doubt consistently and give reason after reason of why he can't go. God speaks once, And God says, I am who I am. God doesn't adjust God's statement of who God is because of the critiques given by Moses. When you're a champion, you have to be so confident and secure in who you are that you don't waver because people critique you. You don't waver because people can't stand you. You don't waver because people try to stop you. You don't waver because they don't like you. You don't waver because they plot against you. You're confident in who you are. Don't change your message. Just continue to be who you're supposed to be. It doesn't matter if they don't like you, if they talk about you, if they criticize you. It don't matter if they plot against you. It don't matter if they scandalize your name. Just continue to be who you are. You are the champion assigned. God, I love you. Listen, can I tell you, no matter how much Moses complained, God didn't go get someone else. No matter how much Moses tried to get out of it, God didn't find anybody else. Listen, your complaints don't change God's mind. You can complain, you can kick, you can cry, you can whine, you can pout, you can have a temper tantrum or a pity party. God's simply going to say, are you done yet? I am who I am. Hey, are you finished yet? I am who I am. In other words, not only am who I am, but I also am so secure in who you are that I still am. Oh, God, listen. God is so secure in the fact that God chose the right person when God chose you that your complaints simply fuel God's confidence. In other words, he's still saying I am. Right? No matter how much you complain, I am. No matter how much you don't like it, I am. No matter how much you try to run, I am. And I'm going to be until you become. Oh, God, I'm not moving. Can I tell you? The fire never went out in the bush. Right? The fire never went out while God was talking through the form of a burning bush that was on fire but not consumed. Because you can try to out-talk God, but God keeps burning, and God can keep burning because the bush wasn't being consumed. God's like, I ain't got nothing but time. I ain't got nothing but time, right? Complain, pout, try to bargain and barter your way out of this, but you're still going to go. Okay, here's the last one. I'm done. It's short, right? So, what are the ABCs of being a champion? A, accept the attribute. Accept who you are. I am who I am. Be what you believe, right? I am, present tense, right now, in this moment, the champion. I'm not a champion tomorrow. I will be, but right now I'm a champion right now. I have the attributes to become, and I am. Right? Attributes, be what you believe, C, confident in the face of critiques and critics. But here's the last thing. Do what you have declared. You're a champion. Text says, I am who I am. That's what God said. And can I tell you that God not only said it and became it and was it and is it, but he did it. God did it. God did it. Listen, part of the problem is oftentimes we boast about our ability, but don't fulfill the actions of our assignment. You can't be a champion just by talking champion. You can't be a champion just by title only. No, to be a champion, you have to actually do what you declare. You can't just say you're the best. That's a Ewan McGregor, right? That's McGregor. What's the name? McGregor. McGregor talk a whole lot of smack at the weigh-in, but when the fight comes, you can't back up what you talk. See, a whole lot of us talk about it, but rarely do we actually do what we have declared. Right? Like, give you an example. I had a young lady who told me there was an accessibility issue in one of our facilities. So what did I do? You go in the room and fix it. You move what needs to be moved. You move out what don't need to be there. and you make sure that what you have is accessible. You do it, right? You declare it. If you say you are who you say you are, then you should be able to do what you said you can do. Simple as that. That's all. God did it. God said, I am. And every time the children of Israel needed God, God was there. Every time they had a request of God, God was there. Every time they needed God to show up, whether it was to part the Red Sea or to provide manna from heaven or water from a rock, God was there. And all I'm trying to tell you, if you're going to be a champion, you have to do what you declare. This is no longer the season for just talking about it. Right? You must do. God's I am. That's Jehovah. That's the covenant name of God. It's not just title. It's time out for just having titles. You want to be called this, but you don't want to do this. The reality is, in this new season, nobody cares what your name is. They want to know what you're doing. Show me what you're working with. Ah, God, I hear you. Show me what you're working with. Don't tell me who you are. Show me what you're working with. Where is the fruit? And as a champion, your final act of declaring is the doing. It's time out for talking about it and not being about it. You gotta do it. Hey, in the chat right now, just type show me what you're working with. Don't say it. That's what you say. Don't say it. Show me. Don't say it. Show me what you're working with. Hey, listen. Show me what you're working with. I remember I was in the commissary. I was in the commissary at Fort Jackson, and I had this shirt that said Pastor Plus. And the lady looked and she said, Pastor? Maybe not. And I said, what you mean? She said, anybody can wear a pastor shirt. I said, you right. I said, you right. I said, you're right. Anybody can wear a pastor shirt. But only those called by God can do the work of the pastor, can have a pastor's heart. So listen, don't tell me. Don't say it. Show me what you're working with. Show me. If you are a champion, then the evidence should not be in what you say, but in what you show. I'm done. Listen. I don't know who I'm talking to, but maybe you've been doubting your championship ability. Maybe you have been doubting the fact that God has called you and commissioned you to do the work of God and to be a champion. If that's the case, I simply want you to connect to us. And you connect to us by simply doing this. Take out your phone and text the word champion to 84576. This is a call to connect. This is a call to connect to Christ and to the development of the champion in you. Text the word champion to 84576. That's it. That's your point of connection. From there, we'll connect you to everything else. But right now, if you're not connected to us, this will give you our daily motivational thoughts. This will give you updates about what's coming. Again, this is a We Win Weekend, our first We Win Weekend. We will be in Florence. Elizabeth will be in Florence. Elizabeth will be in Florence on Friday night at the Loft at 6:30. On Saturday, we're supposed to be in Sumter. The details will be coming. On Sunday morning, we'll be back in Florence at the Savannah Grove Church at 10 o'clock in the morning. Listen, this is a We Win Weekend, and we're dealing with some issues. So we're doing a happy hour at the Loft, and our thought for the happy hour is wisdom from the wine. We're going to be talking about the wedding at Cana and what the wine would say. Right? We celebrated being the best wine. But what would the wine say if the wine could give his testimony? We'll talk about that at the Loft on Friday night. So I can't wait to see you. But until then, take out your phone and text champion to 84576 so that we can keep connected and bring out the inner champion in you. Listen, we love you. We're so glad about your future. We don't doubt the fact that God has purpose for your life. It may not be in the pattern you think, but the fact that you're breathing is evidence that God's not done with you. And it's the perfect time to develop, to bring out, to to reintroduce to the world that champion that's inside of you. All right. So listen, be blessed. Make sure you text champion 84576, and we'll see you next week. Right. Love y'all. To God be the glory.